go get them again.
Welcome back to another unboxing first impression video on the brand of Maison Franciscaise. This is from the Oud line, which is not very popular with me. As you can see, some of my collection here. A lot of the older releases, right? You got Grand Soir, of course you got the Baccarat, but you also have Ciel de Gomme, Epaume, Lumière Noire, Absolu. What is this one? Absolu pour le soir. All old vintage stuff, basically. But it started right here with the regular Oud, not the Extrait, the regular Oud. And today we're going to delve into Oud Silk Mood Extrait version. So with these Oud lines, there's a regular version and then there's an Extrait version. So we're going to take a look at Oud Silk Mood. Not that I lied, but I have smelt the original version of Oud Silk Mood half a dozen years ago, and this is a great thing. You know, this is of course a return product. I'm actually going to be decanting this for a website, but it's always important to revisit, especially when you're early in your journey, especially if you're 20 years in plus, and you're almost at the pinnacle. Things like niche and designer fragrances, there's not going to be much change in regards to what you think about a fragrance. And if you take your time with the fragrance, there's a lot of reviewers that go, oh, it's changed so much. It macerated. Oh, it macerated, eh? It macerated in your house? Okay, buddy. But not much is going to change. If you dislike a fragrance and you say like, it's not worth the money, 10 years later, it's still not going to be worth the money personally for me, because I take my time with every single fragrance review. Now, I don't mean unboxings. Unboxings, you could change your mind a little bit because I haven't talked about dry down. I haven't spoken about anything. I haven't really lived with the fragrance, but a full-fledged review from me in 2009 is still golden here in 2024. Yeah, it's a little pixelated, and yeah, the audio is pretty crappy, and probably there's no real graphics there, but the taste, my thoughts on a fragrance hasn't really changed, and I could probably count on both these hands, and that's about it, on where I did a whole 180 on a fragrance, like a 180, right? Like not just, oh, I rated it a 7, now it's an 8. No, I mean like drastic, like I hate it and now I like it kind of thing. You're not gonna see much about that. So I've sampled Oud Silk Mood. Of course, I think it was the EDP. Are these EDPs? I think they are, right? They're EDPs, they're not EDTs, yeah. Eau de Parfum versus the Extrait. And again, when I went back to that video, I saw that, I said, hey, it's a typical niche Oud Rose combo. And I feel like I've been parroting that for a long, long time with a lot of fragrance brands. Like, think about that. This is over like 6-7 years ago I did that video, and I'm still saying, oh, no, another Oud Rose. Like, I'm still doing this. And it didn't impress me much in regards to, the hype versus what I got in a bottle. Is it quality? Yes. It's a Franciscaise composition. A lot of them are well done, depending on if you like the Perfume or not. A lot of people don't like his penmanship, especially the newest Dior Parfum that just got released. It's getting its rightful bashing, we'll say, online. We'll see. I don't think that was the right word, rightful, but basically everybody's parroting each other, right? Now, it's this, that. Everybody says the exact same thing. I'm getting a little sample of it, by the way, and we'll see. Obviously, it's going to be a different direction from what I hear, but I'm looking forward to actually smelling it and see what it's all about and see the direction of Dior. I'm slowly looking and seeing where Francis is going to bring Dior. A lot of people are missing Demachy now. Oh, I thought he was bad. A lot of people were saying how bad he was when he was at Dior. Now they're changing their tune. Okay, but anyway, both master perfumiers. So let's see if my thoughts are going to change here with the Extrait. Years later, obviously with Extrait, you might see, because of different concentration, the idea should be the same, but you never know with different concentration. Usually the higher the concentration, the flatter the fragrance is. That's how I feel. Like there's not much jump to fragrances when they have more higher concentration. So they usually, rule of law is they last longer, but they don't perform as well. So we will see with this Extrait. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome to the Robezoid channel. I'm your host, Mark. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Don't wait. hit subscribe. I'm gonna hit up things like this, and of course I got a sampling series that I'm bringing back. I'm letting you know I'm bringing it back. And of course my test drive videos. So subscribe, smash that like button, much appreciated. Of course, this is an older fragrance, so there's not much hype going on in the community. I'm probably the only one in 2025 delving into this fragrance as of today, probably. But let's take a look at the note breakdown. Let's see what this one has in store for my nose. Papyrus sets us off. So maybe a green thing up top. In the mid, we got rose and chamomile. So chamomile can give it a tea-like quality. We'll see if it gives out that. Rose is his signature from Francis. He's really good at them. He has done quite a few for his Maison lineup. So we'll see. Usually it's quality, usually. And in the base, we have, of course, the Oud. This was released back in 2013. So it has, 10 plus years on the market. Congratulations. Of course, the nose is the in-house perfumier, which he's very busy now, helming at Dior and now, of course, at his Maison lineup. Now, let's take a look at pricing before we crack this one open. On his website, the MFK website, this is $445 for 70 mils. And at discounters, you're finding it at around $350, give or take. So you're getting at least $100 off at discounters, give or take. The best route with these, especially, a lot of these that I've purchased, like this one, I bought Apom, I bought Lumière Noire, and I bought this Absolu pour le Soir on the secondary market, like basically Facebook groups where people, there's 70 mil bottles, right? And like this one right here has got like 20 mils out. So I'm basically paying for 50 mil. And I think I paid a good penny for these three, I'll say, because they were discontinued at the time. So we're not going to go into the math and how much I spent on Francis K. But this was a line that I hardly owned anything. Like I owned this guy and I was kind of lukewarm on it. I actually grew to like this one a little bit more, but and then it started just blossoming. I started delving into the older stuff that was discontinued. So let's delve into this one. I think it's been a while since we've spoken about a Maison Francis on the channel, which is always nice to delve into. It is a premium brand. It is a brand that I've had my challenges with, right? Good and bad, right? A lot of his stuff is very. He's kind of like Elena. That it's very, it feels very linear. It feels very minimalistic, minimal, and then there's some complexity behind it. I feel like a lot of the stuff is very pleasant. He does go a little like Absolu pour le Soir here has some funk to it, and I like that. I like when he kind of goes a little off the beaten path a little bit, but he's good with, of course, orange blossoms, ambers. Things like that. Rose, of course. So we're going to put it on strip first, then we'll put on skin. Is going to be my set of the day. Some of these are very, they last a long time from what I hear online. So let's delve into it. As a return to product, they hardly did a dent. So it's nice to see. And the atomizers are okay. They're not the greatest in the world. So let's delve into Oud Silk Mood, the Extrait version of Maison Francis. Yeah, it's like what I stated, a typical Oud Rose combo. Yeah, what I thought about the original one is basically what I'm thinking right now. This comes out the gate just like I expected, the same way a Rose Oud combo. Rose being mostly primary. So the Oud is back, it's behind it. The rose is grabbing your attention, and the Oud is in the background a little bit. The Oud comes in a little medicinal, so think kind of like, I don't want to compare it to Montal, but I will. It's in that range, a little better, right? We're not going to compare a Montal to a Maison Francis K, but there's a little bit of green nuances, not as green as I was gonna think. I was thinking this is going to go a little greener on me personally. The rose itself, not jammy, right? These rose oud combos, usually the rose is jammier, is jammy. That's why it makes you kind of think of Montal, but it's not. yeah, there's some interesting pieces here and there. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so there is some green. The papyrus is definitely there. It's helping that green aspect. There's also a spicy quality in here as well. But it has that Middle Eastern rose oud combo with spare parts around it. The rose isn't jammy, like I said earlier, so it doesn't have that sweetness. I'm very much more dry because you're missing that sweetness. So it has that scent profile is kind of usual, but it's missing like that particular piece, which is a pretty big piece in a lot of rose ouds. So the papyrus kind of gives it a more of an earthy, woody, slightly smoky green touch, which is a nice touch. I think the chamomile in here also gives out like a herbal, I wouldn't say straight up tea, but right, chamomile has done that before. In other scents, like lighter scents. In here, it's more of a depth piece where it's not a standout, but it gives depth to the fragrance. And so I can see that. So the balance is there. There's very good balance here. You can tell that a master perfumier penned this. Really good balance. The oud is definitely a backseat type of oud, like it's not primary in this fragrance. Honestly, it's a high secondary note, but it's always there, at least for now, as the backup. So we'll see how it develops, of course, but yeah, rose dominant with some green herbal earthy touches would be a nice way of saying it. Chamomile, papyrus showing their strength. This has push to it. Like you can tell that it has strength, but it isn't that dense as a fragrance. Honestly, it has some, and I like to kind of say that in some fragrance reviews, is that it has a little bit of air bubbles, like a little bit of the notes to breathe. It's not soupy. And I've said that in some like really expensive stuff that I'm like, oh, you put a lot of stuff in the bowl, but it smells kind of soupy, right? It doesn't have those volumes. Francis does that. He's got the volumes and he's got those air bubbles where you can kind of breathe and go, oh, okay, the papyrus is doing this little, or the rose is a little more green. It's not jammy. Like it's kind of giving like a pause on some notes. I kind of like that. There's a little bit of the rose is kind of almost kind of going in a little soapy direction a bit. I wouldn't classify this as soapy, so be careful. I try to be careful with my words. It's definitely a Middle Eastern rose oud combo with some earthy touches in that. The one thing that I remember from my really old samples of Oud Silk Mood, which was the EDP version, was that it was well built, but it's in an overcrowded, saturated genre. And I know that there's a lot of love from this fragrance in the community. And for me, people say, oh, you're a contrarian, right? People love it. You hate it. Well, I like Baccarat Rouge, so what's going to happen now, right? Like, where's your valid points, right? I like that. I like Grand Soir, popular as well, but also like Apom. And I like, this one right here, which I keep forgetting, Absolu pour le Soir, which is a little more animalic. So I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I'm just telling you how it is, how I feel about the fragrance. Not all popular fragrances have to be a positive fragrance review on my channel. It just can't. I have taste, right? I have my own taste, my own opinion. I don't go where everybody else goes. Why? Why? So we can all high five each other at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, talking about this fragrance, I don't know. This oud line, and starting with that one, which I really didn't like. I blind bought that and I got in a split way back when. That's why there's so much juice, it's at 50%. I kind of learned to like that one. I hate saying that, but it was one of those rare niche fragrances that it took me a long time. Like I bought this and I kind of felt like burned. I was like, oh, I like Francis's stuff, but I kept delving into the brand. I was like, it's good, but it's almost like Apom and even, what was it, the Lumière Noire, both of them. I was like, oh, they're really, really good, but I wanted something a little more oomph, a little more personality to them. But I was like, oh, they're well blended, they're well done, but I don't know. But then once they were, like I was getting that FOMO, I guess, once they got discontinued for like 5-6 years, I was searching for them. And now that I have them in my collection, like I understand, I love the way they were built. And Oud, it was the same thing. Like I was like, it was okay, but I put it a little higher on my pedestal, a little higher, right? And I like it. So this one, going back to this one right here, I don't know. This Oud line has, ton of love. And, I got a ton of Maison Francis K releases in front of me here. And you could tell that the Oud line is kind of missing out of this. And I think it's the same kind of pattern. Like, forget the Baccarat Rouge lineup. I'm talking about these other ones. It kind of slots in the same way as those, is that it's really well built. It is a great example of a rose oud. I think it's, you don't want to say that I don't think it's a statement piece, but if you had to get a rose oud, and these are kind of pricey, you'd have to choose carefully because there's tons of them out there, and whatever you'd want to like. You can have a one that has more oud or saffron in it and stuff like that. I'm not on the hype train with this one. I like it. It's well built, so I'm going to say that. And it is a good example of a rose oud. I think you could get different ideas from other brands, and I think you'd be happy with it. And that's where the price point goes, is the price point worth that extra? Is this fragrance giving me a little extra than a lot of other brands? I don't see it. I don't see it. It is very good, but it's one of those that I'd probably get, on a Facebook group, kind of like some of these, and just be like, okay, I got the Extrait version, 50% of the bottle, and call it a day for like under $200, which happens, right? Used bottles. And that's where I'm at with this one, is that I would not even go at a discounter, right? It's at 300. No, this isn't giving me enough. I think this is like maybe with time, but yeah. So I'm very lukewarm. I see the reasons why it would be loved, but at the same time, for me personally, I don't think it's a standout from the brand. But a good example of a rose oud. If you want to smell a Middle Eastern rose oud, this is a good example of it. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Good, bad, and the ugly, right? You can tell me. You can state it in your comments below, right? People love to say, hey, don't say I'm wrong. It's my opinion. How am I wrong? I'm not stating this is fact of what I say, right? Is what this fragrance is all about. But, you can say whatever you want. You love it? Perfect. There's a lot of people on that. So a lot of people are going to dislike this video a little bit, which is fine with me. I'd rather be truthful than to appease. And that's always going to be the way that I do it on my channel. So I can't wait to see the comments, good, bad, and the ugly, right? If you if you feel the same way as I do, we'll high five as usual in the comments. But yeah, an okay release from Maison Francis K. And you can comment below about how Francis is killing the House of Dior. Oh no, the changes. Yeah, it's a business. You got to keep that in mind. This little fragrance community that we have, it's great that we love things that stand out a little bit from the norm, right? But we're not the normies. We're not the bulk of the community that purchases fragrances. So you can tell that some brands are, okay, we got to get more sales, and this is the way we're going to do it. So as always, a great import fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.